So in the scriptures, we are referred to as trees. Sons of the dust be because we were made from the dust, the earth. Or we are known as the sons of men. Why sons of men? Because there's a people, they do not come from man, from Adam. They come from the serpent. They're not made from the dust. They are star seeds. So you see, this is the descendants of Adam. So after Cain killed them, you see it starts from Seth. So if Cain was his son, he would be listed here. And this is Cain's descendants. So there are the descendants of the serpent. That's why these are your Abrahamic religions. Even the serpent, Canaanites, you see Sharia law, Muslims. That's why they're not grabbing the Muslim people or their children, but just the red nations and their children, purple bloodline, the fake Jews. Christopher Ball Columbus was a fictional character. I explained that in the past. That's why in Maui, when they burned up Maui, the children went missing. It's over the red nations, and they do that a lot with the Philippines. They hit them with these weather machines. They have a lot of earthquakes and floods, and they take the kids. Venezuela, earthquake, children, they were selling the children. Biden opened the borders, 450,000 children went missing. They're doing now that with the immigrants, they call immigrants. They're just using this so you could come into agreement with them and make it okay for them to break up the family and steal the children, because that's what they're doing. And now they're trying to take away the Puerto Rican birthright. There's no birthright because the colonial reign has ended. Puerto Rico's free. They're just not telling you that. So they're doing that because they want to go after the Puerto Ricans next as well, put them in camps and take our children as well. Wake up.
J'aime mieux qu'être mal accompagné, pas vrai?
Où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa? Sans même devoir lui parler, c'est ce qui ne va pas. Ah sacré papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché?
Ça doit
faire au moins 1000 fois que j'ai
compté mes doigts. Hey.
Où t'es papa, où t'es?
A 3-year-old girl was sexually assaulted because ICE agents separated her and her mom for 5 months, and while she was in foster care, she endured extreme abuse. This is the girl.
I made a video a little while back where this guy starts off and he said, you should have known Trump was gay when he started deporting Latinas. And I came in and I said, you are so close. He's deporting the mothers so that way they could have the children. Now, y'all didn't listen to me when I said all lives matter was code for pedophiles deserve rights. You guys didn't listen to me when I said Trump's trying to separate the parents from the kids. Well, now we have the proof that that's what they're trying to do, and that ICE is basically the gatekeepers for pedophilia. So we can 100% confirm that if you support ICE, you are supporting the pedophile cult.
Immigrants are stealing our jobs, they're raping our women, and they're committing crimes. That is one of the biggest lies people keep repeating. It is a complete and total lie. It's bullshit. Think about it. A majority of undocumented immigrants don't even want to bother anybody or commit crimes. Why would they? Why would anyone put themselves in a position to get locked up or deported back home after risking everything to get here? It makes zero sense. The vast majority of them come to this country for one simple human reason: to work, to make money so they can support their families, and to stay out the way. They're not looking for trouble. They're just looking for stability, just like everybody else. Bro, think about it. A majority of school shootings in America have been committed by U.S. citizens, not undocumented immigrants. Look at the headlines when those horrific events happen. These are false narratives created by the top elite to perpetuate myths about immigrants, so you never have to look up at who's actually robbing you. They have to create these lies to divide all of us, because at the end of the day, we outnumber them. If we're fighting each other down here, we're not looking at what they're doing up there. It's amazing how the people picking strawberries in the blistering heat, cleaning hotel rooms, washing dishes after midnight, roofing houses in the dead of of July, taking care of children, landscaping neighborhoods, and working the most brutal, back-breaking jobs that most people don't want, somehow became the biggest threat to the country. It's a joke. Meanwhile, the real conversations we should be having about wages that haven't kept up with the cost of living, skyrocketing housing prices, predatory healthcare expenses, massive influence of corporate money in politics, receive way less attention. Immigrants aren't fucking your tax dollars. Your own government is. They send trillions of dollars to Israel to fund mass pedophile rings and genocides. And then you got agencies like ICE that are weaponized to enforce this nonsense and treat human beings like livestock and numbers to satisfy a political base, while the real systemic failures are swept completely under the rug. Whether somebody agrees or disagrees with immigration policy, it's worth asking who benefits when ordinary people spend all their energy blaming one another instead of examining the larger systems shaping their lives. Who actually wins when working class people are programmed to hate the poorest people in the room? The elites win. The politicians win. The corporations and the institutions keeping wages low win. You don't have to support open borders to recognize somebody's humanity. You can believe a country should have secure borders and still believe that people deserve dignity, due process, and to be treated like human beings instead of political props. Those ideas are not mutually exclusive. Now, obviously, if immigrants come to a country and are disrespectful, rude, destroying everything, okay, different story. But that's simply not the reality for the overwhelming majority of immigrants in America. The reality is that there is no American culture, no American economy, no immigrant history without immigrants. The system wants you to forget that we're all connected, and they want immigrants to live in constant fear, stay invisible, and exploited. You can't be illegal on stolen land. Stop allowing the propaganda. Look at who's actually holding the keys to the wealth. Start treating people who sweat and bleed for this country with the basic human respect they've earned.
Monsters. I said, I'll use the word animal because that's what they are. No, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals.
We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans and we are Americans. If we fight, we have to do it with love. We love our people, we love our family.
She's been asking for 10 days if her DNA matches any of the 115 remains.
We've never got that information.
And still no proper relief from the government. The public remains left in the dark with no idea how many are actually missing. What we can assume is that the number is much higher than the 385 the government is claiming and much higher than the less than 50 active missing person cases that Governor Josh Green is saying. As we've seen, the official number makes wild jumps down from the over 2,000 kids that were originally missing. It also doesn't match up with the latest stats from the Department of Education, which says out of 3,000 students enrolled in West Maui, approximately 1,200 remain undetermined.
33, we're tracking new developments regarding West Maui schools. Now, here are the latest stats from the Department of Education. Before the fire, there were 3,001 students enrolled in that area. Since then, 778 have re-enrolled in other schools. 874 have signed up for distance learning. 129 are now enrolled in charter or independent schools. 12 have withdrawn. Now that leaves about 1,200 students that the DOE is actively trying to contact.
Nick Sorter said, at a minimum, I believe officials are definitely hiding the real numbers, especially for missing, from the people of Maui, hoping this story goes by the wayside and their grip of power becomes less threatened. Families are left with more and more unanswered questions with each passing day.
Those who have been searching for clues about what happened to their loved ones are frustrated with the lack of answers from officials.
Yeah, Bridget, a lot of family members flew to Maui searching for answers and for their loved ones, and now many of them are leaving with more questions and with heartache.
There are hundreds of families who don't know what's going on. They're unable to come here. They're getting bits and pieces of information, and there needs to be a hub they can go to have their questions answered.
We still don't have any answers regarding the school buses as well. I had mentioned the buses on a video a few days ago, assuming you had seen the video on it already. I left you all with questions, so this next video you're about to see has no audio, but if you read along, it will explain the school bus mystery. If school was canceled that day, as they tell us, wouldn't the buses be lined up in the parking lot since they weren't in use? Footage has surfaced of a long line of school buses evacuating from Lahaina. Speaking of vehicles, there are currently over 18,000 cars sitting idle at the Maui airport.
Maui's rental car companies are working to ship out part of their inventory as tourists have fled the Valley Isle.
Thousands of cars are still parked at the Kahului airport, and many say it reminds them of the pandemic.
At Kahului Airport and the surrounding fields, it's So you're telling this committee that the Biden administration, while they were letting all of these unaccompanied minors into the country, and as we've talked about today, they weren't keeping track of them, they issued these kids a hotline that they could call if they had trouble with the sponsor family that they were put with, and you're saying that 65,000 calls to this hotline designated to protect these kids went unanswered? Is that what you're telling this committee?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know how many staffers the administration assigned to answering these phones and helping these kids?
One.
One staffer? Any idea how many hours a day this staffer was working?
No.
Maybe that's why there were 65,000 calls that weren't answered from these little kids, huh?
Mayor, for these missing Venezuelan children wasn't from the earthquake, it's what's happening now. The Venezuelan police are helping traffic rescue children. This one was caught just 2 nights ago. This Venezuelan mother says the police officers, like the one you just saw, are taking her children, renaming them so that then they can be trafficked. Check it out.
On the left, we also have one of the people who's quite affected. I would like you to first give me your first and last name, please.
I am Noraima Perez, a waitress at the Camurive Clinic, and I am here affected because my 4 children are missing. My daughter Aranza Lopez was taken out alive, but they took her out with a last name that is not hers. Aranza Vergara appears in Social Security. I have looked for her in all the hospitals in Caracas, and she does not appear where they transferred her either. We need international help, and for this to be heard internationally, the children of Vargas are being stolen.
As I mentioned in a previous video, these children are being sold on this app called Vinted. $3,800, rescued Venezuelan plushie from the earthquake. It gives the size, 6 years old, condition very good, color white. This one over here, 3 years old, used, the pizza logo. What do we all know that means? DM for measurements, $6,300. This is disgusting, guys. Remember, like I said, it's the same playbook they did in Haiti to traffic kids to Epstein Island. Venezuela's right here, same thing. They do this repeat, rinse and repeat all around the world. These are the weapon systems that they use to cause chaos all in these countries and then to come in and be, oh, we're the humanitarian aid here to help. But in reality, they're the ones that cause the problem, and they're the ones that are there to traffic the children. Let's wake up.
Tenemos una de las personas que está bastante afectada. Quisiera que me digas primero tu nombre y tu apellido, por favor.
Yo soy Noraima Pérez, de camarera de la clínica Camurive, y estoy aquí afectada porque tengo mis 4 niños perdidos. Mi hija Aranza López la sacaron con vida, pero la sacaron con un apellido que no es de ella, Aranza Vergara. Aparece en el Seguro Social, le he buscado en todos los hospitales de Caracas y no aparece tampoco en donde la trasladaron. Necesitamos ayuda internacional y que esto se escuche, a nivel internacional. Los niños de Vargas se lo están robando. Los niños de Vargas le están quitando los apellidos y le están colocando otros apellidos para sacarlos. Porque mi hija no se consigue en el hospital Pérez Carreño. La fue a buscar y no la consigo. Todos los testigos de aquí de la OP20.
Don't tell me what I can and can't say. I can say what I need to say. I have freedom of speech, okay?
It's protected speech.
That's fine. I'm glad that you think that it's funny. I'm glad you think that it's funny. The biggest threat to America is white men that look like you, me, you, all these cops here. And something, by the way, I don't even think it's worth talking to a lot of you, but I urge all the white people here, because a lot of people have said that you're surprised, you don't know what's happening, what's going on. Because we have been so deeply beaten with propaganda that we are the greatest country in the world. We have always been this way, imperialistic, genocidal. I'm not looking at you. You're not special. Okay? I'm not looking at you. I'm looking around.
Stop. Let him have his time.
Right,
You had yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We've always been shush. We've always been genocidal. We came to this land, we genocided the indigenous people. I don't want to look at you. I don't like looking at you. We genocided the indigenous people when we came here. We killed them.
Young man, you need to stop and sit. You know, if you already had your time, you have a seat.
It's fine. Why are you interrupting? Don't.
The president of Mexico, Xiomara Castro, state sponsors sun worship ceremony because they worship the sun. The military from Mexico is working with China and Russia, and they're the ones that are grabbing our nations. That's why you see so many ICE agents. They are Mexican, so be careful to our community. She made a comment not so long ago how the worship to Mary was idol worshiping and the community got upset. She's right, and they have legal rights to catch us. daddy's children, and we're breaking covenant and we're idol worshiping. So these are slave catchers. So stay in covenant, and especially these holidays that they gave you, because they're going to get a whole lot of people after Christmas and January, New Year. They're going to grab a whole bunch of people because our people we don't get out of these Babylonian holidays they gave to us. And they have legal rights to catch us. And I'm talking to all our communities, because Yahushua was now born on December 25th. That was the birthday of the sun god. So wake up.
Nuestra ceremonia sagrada y vamos a levantar nuestras manos con dirección a donde sale el sol, al oriente, y levantamos nuestras manos.
Razón porque México se está corrompiendo.
Invocamos a los nahuales, a las deidades y espíritu divino.
¿Cuáles espíritus divinos estás declarando? Muchos van a decir, oh, es cultura, es tradición. 91% de los mexicanos se identifican como católicos o cristianos. Muchos de nosotros tuvimos padres o abuelos que tenían imágenes en sus casas con la Virgen María, la imagen de Jesús, el rosario, que esto, que el otro. Muchos de nosotros conocemos el nombre de Jesús.
¿Católica?
No, no soy católica, no soy religiosa.
La gente tiene que aprender que la Virgen de Guadalupe no hace milagros. Los yesos no andan haciendo milagros, ¿verdad que no? A mí ni Dios ni Gálvez me sacará de la presidencia. La Virgen de Guadalupe es solo un yeso, algo que sigue solo la gente ignorante, algo sin ningún valor real.
¿Dónde está tu honor? Es el país que más le compra armas a Israel en el mundo. Los vínculos del gobierno de México con Israel son cada vez más cercanos y contradicen su discurso solidario con los palestinos. El año pasado, mientras Israel encrudecía su campaña genocida en Gaza, el gobierno mexicano le compró más armas a Israel que cualquier otro gobierno del mundo. México, de hecho, triplicó la compra de armas a Israel con respecto a 2024, con un total de 18,000 unidades entre rifles de asalto, ametralladoras y pistolas, además de otras 300,000 armas que están en espera de llegada a México, de acuerdo con el reporte de México para el Tratado de Comercio de Armas de las Naciones Unidas. Y ahora Israel y México tienen una extensa historia de compra y venta de armas y de programas de espionaje. Su relación comenzó en 1990, pero aumentó a partir del año 2000. Desde ahí, Israel ha exportado misiles, helicópteros, vehículos, drones y más armas a México. Asimismo, la dependencia de México en los programas de ciberespionaje de fabricación israelí ha ido en aumento. El principal vendedor israelí de armas a México se llama Israeli Weapons Industries, el cual el grupo SK es dueño, un grupo que es el principal proveedor de armas para el gobierno de Benjamín Netanyahu y su ejército, quienes han vapuleado al pueblo palestino. O sea que las mismas armas que está comprando México a Israel son armas que se están utilizando durante la campaña genocida de Israel en Gaza. Si bien es difícil cuantificar la influencia de Israel en México, el hecho de que nuestro país sea el principal comprador de armas del gobierno de Netanyahu en el mundo hace pensar que la prioridad del gobierno mexicano nunca ha sido solidarizarse con Palestina.